Hi, I'm Lance Henriksen. You're watching Brian Lomax's Movie Talk.
Hello there and welcome to Brian Lomax Movie Talk. Now I'm very tired indeed because last night I went to a midnight showing at IMAX of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, followed by a 10 past 10 showing this morning. So as you can imagine, I have very little sleep, but I feel like I really need to talk about this film. A film that I've been waiting for a very long time and I've been very hyped for. Now I will say just off the bat, when I first watched it last night as it came out, I thought it was a very good film. I thought it had problems. It was probably looking at maybe like an 8 out of 10 kind of rating. But as with what happened with Man of Steel, I went back and I saw it for a second time and I liked it a lot more on that second viewing. Now, this is obviously Batman v Superman. You probably know the story by now. You've seen the trailers. Chances are, if you've seen the trailer, you pretty much know where the film is going. But despite that, it still has a lot to offer. I find that with most Zack Snyder films, they tend to be quite filled to the brim with stuff, and I think sometimes I'm left numb by the end of it, and it's only on a second viewing that I can just enjoy the ride a lot more because I don't feel like I have to engage with it in as close a way, if you get my meaning. I don't have to take everything in because I know what's coming, I know what's happening, and I can just enjoy it. I found that with Watchmen and I found it with Man of Steel, and a lot of the problems I had with the first viewing kind of got washed away upon the second viewing, but some problems still remain. One of them for me, the main one, being Doomsday. I don't like Doomsday's design in this. I think he looks too CGI. I think he is too big. I think they made him far too tall, far too big. He doesn't really resemble the Doomsday of the comics, which is a shame. Another aspect of the Doomsday character in this is because he is just thrown in towards the end of the film, he's not really a character, so we're not emotionally invested when people start fighting him. I mean, you've seen, like I say, you've seen the trailer. This isn't a spoiler. We know that Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman eventually have to team up to stop Doomsday. Maybe it didn't need to be there. Maybe they could have come up with something else. I like the angle that they take with another character that kind of throws someone in peril. That means the heroes have something else to do. So I think maybe Doomsday was just a little bit one step too far. And as I say, if you compare it to the fight at the end of Man of Steel, you're emotionally invested in that one because we know who Zod is. He's been throughout the whole movie. He's been the main antagonist. So when they eventually have that showdown at the end of Man of Steel, you are emotionally invested, and I don't find that with Doomsday. Now, that being said, that is pretty much my primary, maybe only criticism really. Sure, the film isn't faultless, don't get me wrong, but anything else I can kind of pretty much gloss over. Call me a fanboy if you want, that's fine, I don't care. But as far as everything else in this film, it works. It works in the way that I wanted it to, the way that I was expecting it to. Zack Snyder gets these characters right. If you're a comic book fan, if you know these characters from the comic book, he gets them right. If you love Superman because of Richard Donner's films, then this might not be for you, as Man of Steel wasn't for you. But this is a book made by a fan of comic books for fans of comic books. Now, the only thing about Batman in this is I don't quite like how brutal he is. He is prepared to kill. One of the things I loved about Christopher Nolan's trilogy was that he adhered to that rule that Batman doesn't kill. It's not a clincher for me because I got into Batman, I got into the character of Batman because of the Tim Burton Batman films, and Batman kills in those, so I can't, it'd be a bit hypocritical, I guess, for me to I don't know, to railroad Snyder for that in any major way. But if there was something I could have like maybe tweaked other than the Doomsday thing, it would have been that. But beyond that, Batman is spectacular in this film. I love Ben Affleck's portrayal of him. I love the costume. I love the way Snyder directs certain scenes with him. There's one scene with these cops going into a building and we see Batman kind of in a corner in the shadows, just hanging there like a bat. It's creepy. It's like something out of a horror film. It's what you would expect from this man who trades in fear. So yeah, love Batman in this. Love Wonder Woman. They've introduced Wonder Woman in this. I think Gal Gadot nails it. She doesn't have many lines, but the lines that she has, she gets spot on. I was paying particular attention second time round to her facial expressions, the little nuances in her physical performance, and I really do think she got what it takes to make this character her own in a solo film and in future films in this franchise, in the DC universe. Yeah, Superman, I loved Henry Cavill in Man of Steel. Equally here, he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders here. A lot of people have levelled criticism that this film is just not fun, that it's too dark. I completely disagree with that. I think there's lots of fun to be had in this, primarily through the character of Lex Luthor, personified here by Jesse Eisenberg. He does a fantastic job and is quite hilarious at times. There's one scene with a bowl of sweets that he has that really made me laugh. Yeah, like I said, Cavill is spot on again, but I think they get the character right. I think putting Superman in this world, in the position that he's in, just this, with the responsibility that he has, and people looking to him as a saviour figure, as a Christ-like figure, you're going to feel that. You're going to have that weight on your shoulders. You're not going to be a happy, shiny person for most of the time. But what I do like is the relationship between Clark and Lois Lane. I think Lois Lane gets more to do in this film. I think Amy Adams, as always, delivers a brilliant performance. She never really puts a foot wrong, but I do like where we find Clark and Lois in this film. It's where you want them to be, I guess. So yeah, all in all, really good stuff from the character side of things. A few other side characters that really stand out as well. You know, you got Perry White, who I also think adds humour to this film. And obviously Alfred, played by Jeremy Irons, I think he does a really good job as well. And also Helen Hunt. Helen Hunt's in this as a senator. She's a small role, but I think she delivers quite a lot of gravitas in the role. I think she's fun in the role, and I warm to her. I warm to her in quite a big way, and considering she's not a character from the comic books, not that I know of anyway, I think that's quite a good thing, to be able to introduce a new character like this, a side character, and actually make me care about them. So yeah, again, like that's your characters. The music, Hans Zimmer's back on board for the score on this. Now, Man of Steel scored, soundtrack for that is one of my favourite scores of all time. It's in my top 5 easily. I think he's back on form with this one. He does a great job with this one. I love the little electric guitar that comes on when Wonder Woman appears on the scene in full Wonder Woman uniform. I love that piece of music for her character, and I love his Superman theme anyway. That carries over obviously from Man of Steel. He's working with Junkie XL on this, who most of you will know from the Mad Max Fury Road soundtrack, which again is a killer soundtrack, so pairing them two together makes sense. I expect that the more I watch this, the more I will like it. So currently, as it stands, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but really great fun if you are a Batman fan or a Superman fan. So there you go. There's my no spoilers review of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. But I want to know what you think. There's been a lot of negative reviews about this film. I clearly didn't see what those people were talking about who make those criticisms. I will probably talk a bit more about that in my spoiler review. So yeah, just please comment below, let me know what you thought about it, and until next time, thanks for watching.